It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Would you be my neighbor? We need neighborhoods again. Yeah, you got a lot going on. You hear my voice like 3 times. We need the old-time neighborhoods. You remember the old-time neighborhoods? I talk about this all the time. Old-time neighborhoods where you had a nosy neighbor that would tell if you did something wrong. The old-time neighborhoods where you know, if somebody broke in your house, that's the one. Is that the one? No. Wrong one. Old-time neighborhoods where if you did something wrong, they were not only going to get you, those old folks, they was going to tell your mama too, and your daddy, and you were scared of them. That's the old-time neighborhood. Old-time neighborhood where everybody knew everybody on the street and you didn't need a block club in order to know them, because Buffalo was built with front porches. And in the good weather, they would, I didn't even know about that one. In the good weather, they would sit on the front porch, talk to one another. It's the old school way. Not robbing one another, but taking care of one another. Yep, I'm in a suit today. It is my final black, clean suit. Matter of fact, I had to make a combination. Those of you listening by radio, obviously you can't see. Those of you on Facebook can see. I made this little combination up because I'm out of black suits. Why am I out of black suits? Because I've been behind this pulpit doing service after service after service. I'm out of black suits because in the last 2 days, I buried 2 young men under the age, I'm almost sure both of them under the age of 30. 2 in a row. Killed by the hand of somebody else. Right outside right now, if you hear the feedback there, people still getting in limousines and bodies still being put in the hearse. There's a dad who is grieving sisters and brothers, community. Somebody walked into a gas station while this young man was working and shot him. So that's why I'm in a suit again today. So everybody acts like they know the answers. If we knew the answers, we wouldn't have any more. I think we all know some answers. And the minute we stop fighting against each other, we might be able to work together so that these young people see, from the church to government to just individual grown people. So I'm in a suit today. But when I say there's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, it's a neighborhood that we got to keep striving to have. Saw another incident yesterday, Dr. Gelsey and I, young man in mental distress. We were able again to watch mental health professionals show up on the scene, along with law enforcement, in order to help this young man. Next week, or I think Sunday, I'm going to be able to announce True Bethel is doing a peer group session by Zoom entitled You're Not Alone. I found that some of our people are really, really angry, and we're not dealing, we're dealing with, we're talking about drugs, we're talking about this, we're talking about, but if we don't deal with the anger, if we don't deal with the depression, especially with COVID being here, and now there's probably going to be soon a nationwide lockdown, but we know it's going to be a lockdown locally soon, I believe. But I don't have another black suit. I got to take them all to the cleaners, and prayerfully, I'm not starting all over next week. We got to keep each other safe. So I'm a little frustrated. You've seen me frustrated before. I've learned not to hide my feelings. It is what it is. You don't have to agree. You don't have to like it. But at the end of the day, I worry. You know, today it was that man's son laying there. I got sons. I got young sons. I got teenage sons. One about to be a teenager. The other one is a teenager. So every time I do one of these services, I don't look at it like, oh, that's them. No, that's us. So today I want to talk a little bit about, but that was important. That was important. So my heart goes out to these families, but there are people who are working. So when people say nobody's doing anything, that's a lie. Dr. Gelsey just launched an effort for us to love one another more than hate. You got groups out there every day. Snug, Stop the Violence. Oh, they're not doing anything. That's a lie. They're doing the best with what they have. It takes all of us. I remember one time, you know, I've been doing services like this for a long time, and I felt that calling. Like, this happened on purpose. We had a members retreat, and I said to the members that I felt a calling that we had to try to heal at the place where it hurt most. And a lot of times when, especially a young person passes or is gunned down, families don't have the income to pay for a lot of, they just didn't expect it. And so I asked the church to support this. And so part of, when we take up tithes and offerings, the reason we're able to do these services is because a portion goes so that we are able. I told somebody today, well, I told the crowd today, I don't, some little lying wonder out there, oh, he get paid for every one of them. Who told you that? That's a lie. It's a bold-faced lie. Not for no homicide funeral where we don't even charge the family. That's a part of my calling. It's a part of what I feel called to do. And if we started supporting each other's calling, like I support Gelsey, I support Snug, I support Stop the Violence, I can go on and on. There's a lot of people out there trying. So you're never gonna get me to say a cross word about the way that other people approach trying to slow down the violence. Now, there's been violence ever since we were created, ever since the fall of man. So let's not pretend that we're ever gonna get to zero. It's not gonna happen in my lifetime. But we can, just like this virus, bring down the numbers. We can. But as long as we are as long as we are horribly divided, you know who wins? The undertaker, the cemetery, the casket company. That's who wins. We need to own where we live. This young man was working. Probably wasn't making no $20 an hour, but he was working. He was at work. Was he a hothead? Probably. Was he perfect? Definitely not. But something clicked in his head that said, go get a job. The young man I buried yesterday had just got his job back at Five Below. Five Below. He ain't working in the bank. He's not on the top floor. But something in his head said, I got to go get a job. I don't think this young man today had any children, and I don't think the young man yesterday had any children. But something in their head clicked and said, go get a job. I don't know who's listening. I don't know who's watching. I don't know who'll see this later. And I'm not here to preach. I'm here really talking from my heart for a few minutes before we talk about this whole COVID thing. But if I could say to anything and inspire anybody in my little life, I would tell you, figure out something to do that's positive. Fast money ain't really money, because fast money comes and it goes. And the quicker you get it, if you don't know how to save it and you don't know how to invest it, you're going to lose it. And you know part of the way you're going to lose it, because somebody going to get jealous of you or mad at you. And they're going to be hanging with you, smoking with you, drinking with you, as long as you able to provide the weed, and as long as you able to provide the drinks, and as long as you able to provide the car, and as long as you able to provide the house, and as long as you able to provide the jewelry, and as long as you able to buy the earrings, they're going to rock with you. And the minute you don't have it, they're going to go rock with somebody else. It's better to have a little bit and live it the right way and not have to look over your shoulder than to get all of it and showing off. Showing off for who? This Buffalo. Even if it wasn't, who you really showing off for? What are we showing off for? What is this about? At the end of the day, many of you young men have babies that need you to be alive, daggone it. They need you to be alive. They need you to be alive. And daddies who are alive, your kid needs your presence. And I mean presence as in you being present, not as in you just bringing by diapers, which they need that too, but they need you alive. Because you not alive affects their mental for the rest of their life, especially if you die when you didn't have to die. Our kids need you alive, man. And if that means you go get a minimum wage beginning job, you get it and you climb yourself up. There ain't going to be a whole lot of people to help you up. It's going to be a whole lot of people to step on your hand as you put one hand up to pull yourself up. It's going to be somebody to step on your hand, but you got to just take that pain and keep going. What we are not taught a lot is how to keep going in pain. So we want everything simple. And as soon as somebody steps on our hand, Lord, we're ready to go down back to the bottom because it's easier at the bottom. But I promise you, it's not easier at the bottom. You got to be willing to put a hand up, pull yourself up. Listen, I didn't have a whole lot of people around me in 56 years of living who swore they was going to be around me to the end and then dogged me when I wasn't doing what they wanted me to do, saying what they wanted me to say, and I had to pull myself up through the pain. Can't stop because somebody steps on you. Because the one who steps on you usually is not trying to climb. They're just trying to keep you down. So we got to make sure in this season right now, just bring it. It's all right. It's all right. In the season of life you're in right now, you pull yourself up. Now, we didn't bear it enough. We buried enough. We're burying too many again, starting to rise up again. And these are the conversations. If you're going to get together with somebody on Thanksgiving, talk about that. Sit around. My family is having a Zoom Thanksgiving or something. Sit around and talk about some positive things. Impart into your nieces and nephews. Let me tell you this. The other day, a young man came by my house, which nobody comes to my house. He had a car accident. He wanted to know if my cameras caught it. Regardless of whether it did or not, I had to call my wife after this happened yesterday. This was a few days ago, last week when he came by. I gave him my card to the office. I said, I'll check the cameras. I'll get back to you. Another young man with him says, you probably just think we just some hood dudes. And I said to him, do you know who you're talking to? We had on masks. I had on a mask. I said, I never judge anybody. Bruh, I don't judge anybody. I said, I live right here in the hood. I said, if I was judging you, would I say I'll get you the footage? And the young man said, you know what? You're right. So yesterday, I called the young man who stopped by my house, that nobody comes by my house. And I said, I'm still trying to get it. He said, sir, I don't need it. He said, the insurance company for the other person is taking full responsibility. I said, wow, man. He said, and I think it's because I came to church Sunday.
Wow.
I said, you went to church? He said, I came to your church. Really ain't my church, it's God's church. You know how much that blessed me? That the first young man who probably made a judgment on me, right there in my face said, you know what, you're right, sir. And then the second one respected the way I treated him enough. He never been here. Got it off my card. To come to church. That's how you rebuild community. Because I could have just blew them both off. No, those are my little brothers. I got to love them. But I also have to teach them. That's my job. And the way you teach and you bring them along is not by being judgmental. And it broke my heart that probably that young man said it because he had been judged, because of the way his hair was, or whatever reason. And when we stop judging one another, I didn't judge them, I loved them. Those are my little brothers, young enough to be my son. But what blessed my heart is that the way that I handled that situation, he trusted enough to come to church. Those in my inner circle know what I'm getting ready to tell you. I'm not in my feelings. I'm just going back to being D. I am so grateful for the elevation in the church. I am so grateful for all of the titles that you have entrusted me with. But when David went to fight Goliath, he was given the king's armor, the king's sword. And he said, this doesn't fit me. I want to pass on to some people who wanted some things. I want to pass on titles, some people who are called to do certain things. But I'm like David. I'm a roughneck. I don't mean criminal. I'm not spotless. I'm not I don't need the pageantry nor the benefits of a title. I did what I needed to do of being the bishop of New York State West. I'm not the bishop of True Bethel. I'm the pastor of True Bethel. I've done that. I've carried the title that was put upon me and that I accepted by our then presiding bishop, Bishop Paul Sylvester Morton, who I love with everything in me, and our current bishop, Bishop Joseph Walker, who I love. But I'm just Pastor D. And I never want to lose that. I never want to lose it based on a purple ring and a cross and a purple robe. Because there has to be something more than the man, than the makeup of the clothing. I have respectfully requested to be replaced as the Bishop of New York State West for the Full Gospel Baptist Church. And I'm still with the Full Gospel Baptist Church because I love them. But my job is more in the field than in the chair. I knew that from when I started pastoring. I never fit in. I was always making these decisions that was making other pastors angry. Like, some of you don't realize when we started saying, come as you are, I was considered the devil. People was preaching about me. I remember flipping on cable. I was like, dang, it sounds like he talking about me. He was. And I didn't care. Because when I tried to do this thing the way they teach you in at a convention, and it didn't work. It wasn't until I went to the gas station next door to True Bethel, and I invited a guy in who had on Timbs. You didn't wear Timbs to church. Told him I'd give him $50. Came to church, had a good time, and before when I went to dismiss and I had my nice little Martin Luther King robe on, he said, I want to say something. I was like, oh boy. He said, this man gave me $50 to come to church. I'm giving it back to him. And that's when it clicked. People just want to be loved. People just want to be accepted. People don't want to be judged. And some of the people who we need in church don't come anywhere near church. And sometimes it ain't because the pastors, people claim to be so saved. Their judgmental ways and their mean ways. I got a whole generation out there that don't even want to see the church. I got to go back to being me. I got to go back to the field. Now, I can't get rid of the title bishop, but I don't need the position. Because as long as I'm burying people in my own city, and I keep seeing the hopelessness sometime of our young people, that young man woke me up yesterday again. And I've been talking about this before that incident. I've been talking about this with my inner circle for over a year. So it was before COVID. Because at the end of the day, I know my calling. And I know who I am and who I'm not. And I don't need a title to do the work. You need to do the work. When they bury you, you call people all kinds of titles, but what did you do? I just want to be the servant. I want people to see me and to know they can talk to me about anything. Anything. I don't want to walk up and people feel like they got to shift who they are right then and there because I'm there. I'm your brother. I'm your brother. So, trying to make that happen. So I've been signing stuff just Pastor D. Pastor D. Pastor D and Mo. That's it. I like that title. Because it's just who I am. And thank you. I mean, you never have to get tongue-tied now about what to call me. Do I call you bishop? Do I call you council president? Do I call you trustee? What do I call you? I'm cool with Pastor D. Because those young men and that young man who came to church, it's because I was just being D. I didn't come to him, oh, nope. Bruh. And he respected me, and I respect him. And I'm sending out a message to those of you out there who you always felt like, you know, I can't be a part of church. And this ain't no recruitment for True Bethel. I don't care if you come to True Bethel or not. I'm not trying to get you to come to True Bethel. I can't get most of the people in True Bethel right now because COVID. I just want you to know my heart. And when I bury these young men and young ladies, like it affects me. It is not like a mill. Today I could barely get myself together watching these young people on the ground crying. Y'all can have the titles. I'm going to move those titles on to everybody. Y'all can have these titles. You can have them. I sincerely, and I pray that God hears my heart. I don't want them. I work in the field. I talk to people. I went Tops the other day. I can't even remember which one. On Union, I think. Yeah, Union. I didn't get 5 rows before being stopped 5 times. And one lady said to me, it must be hard. And I was like, nah, anybody who want to speak to you, anybody who looks and then double looks, and they know I'm going to smile, and I'm not going to. If you don't catch my eye, I'm not. I need people to understand this. I'm an introvert. Sure. Am I right,
Sure.
Mark? I'm an introvert who has an extroverted calling. I have to do. This is my calling. But I don't want to go to no meetings. I don't want to go to gatherings. I don't want to, people, we'll put you up front. I don't.
That's what I tell you. We're the most private social people we got.
Mark, do you know what I look forward to if the presiding bishop allows me to pass this on to another very capable person who this is their calling, right? Mm-hmm. For me, it's really not. Do you know what I look forward to? I look forward to when COVID is over and the convention happens and I don't get ushered to the front. Well, 4 rows from the front.
Yeah. Well, you be the senior pastor.
No, I don't want to be in the senior pastor's row either. You know where I want to be? Mo and I love to go hear good preaching and just sit in the back. And it's not because, some people, I've watched people how they move. When they get ready to leave you, they'll start going to the back so that they kind of disappear. That ain't me. I want to be in the back because I don't need to be seen. When I want a word, I just want a word. I don't need anybody to acknowledge me. This is where I think we're getting so messed up. And my fear, especially for younger pastors, is make sure you stay humble. I prayed for my son the other week. And I'm going. My son can be a pain in the behind. Most pastors are not going to say that. And I pray, you know what I pray most for my children? All of them. Humility. When I first started pastoring, I got to get to the subject, but when I first started pastoring, Tracy Schultz used to bring a lady to church, an elderly lady, and she would always say, "Stay meek and humble." Mm-hmm. She was like, "Baby, you're gonna do all right. Stay meek and humble." And I remember that. And whenever my boat starts to rise, or I think, no. Mark, you work with me every day. Every single day we're together, right? Yep. Almost every day. I get thrilled out of making things easier for people who, if I wasn't in positions, it wouldn't be made easier. Right. That's it. How much fanfare do I get how happy am I when we go someplace and they're calling my name and I'll be like, okay, I don't care. But when I can change a law, when I can change something, when I can make a law, when I can help the person who a city tree fell on their garage and the city said we're not going to pay for it, and I get to get them the money when a parent needs some help in some area that I'm not even a part of, and we're able to turn something around. When somebody at the church, like that young man says, I went to church and I believe, basically he was like, God made a way because I attended church. I called when I hung up, that young man might not know how important that was to me. I called Monique. I called my mother. I called so many people to give them that testimony. Yep. And it was somebody else's testimony. That's my thrill. My thrill is not the purple ring. Mm-mm. I'm grateful for it, and the Bible lets us know. You seek that. You seek a good thing, really. Right. And I fulfilled that, but So when I was a mailman, when I was at the post office, I became a supervisor. And I used to ask people who were not supervisors, but who had been at the post office a long time, why haven't you become a supervisor? And they said, that's not my calling. Mm. That's not what I want to do. I like being a mailman. Right. I like being a clerk. And I couldn't understand that, right? But at this point in my life, when you have given all that I haven't given all because then I'll be dead. But when you have given a lot and you're like, but I know what I like now. I know what I like. Yep. And unless the Lord, now you got to follow the Lord because the Bible says without a vision, and the vision is the prophecy, as I saw you did a good job with the show yesterday. Without a vision, without that prophecy of God, without that leading of God. And I truly believe this is God leading me. Right now, I believe God just wants me to be Pastor D. I really, really do. Yep. I believe that he wants me to do what I do on the council. I believe that he wants me to do what I do here in the city. But I also believe that he is calling for a much more humble workforce, Christian workforce, that does not need a title, that does not need this and that. And that's what I believe. And if I'm wrong, may the Lord correct me.
Absolutely.
But if I'm right, may God get the glory.
That's a testimony there.
Yeah. There's like yeah.
Because I think there's always a huge difference in that struggle between who I am, what I'm called to do, and what I'm supposed to be doing.
Wow. Yeah.
And the best times in our life is when they all three finally meet up.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's happening.
I received that. Obviously Monique and I are not the traditional couple. I got a wife that writes love songs. And it's a great place to be.
Yeah.
When you are just being you. when I gave Monique this revelation, and I'm right now I'm not rebuilding, I'm enhancing her walk-in closet. Mm-hmm. And so on the top shelf are all of these hats, like church hats. And when I became bishop, the person who took us through bishop school, our instructor and put together the whole consecration, he insisted, and we're obedient. I'm not going to say she would never, but insisted, your wife must have on a hat. But we're obedient. So I'm not about to become a rebel. Mm-hmm. We're obedient. She wore that hat. She was very uncomfortable in that hat. She's wore other hats, been very uncomfortable in hats. And I said to her, I'm going to probably move these hats out your closet. And she was like, please do.
Well, and that's for those who truly don't know, that's the night I started calling her Shepherd Mother.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Because for those in the Kojic Reformation understand the bishop's wife is called Shepherd Mother. So that's why, for those who are always...
I had no idea.
That's why.
Yep. It doesn't fit her.
No, it totally doesn't. And that's why I do it.
And when I met her, and what made me, one of the things was just her being her. I don't want her to be the first lady. I want her to be my lady.
Absolutely.
I've given everything to the church and to God. I want her to be my lady and let her have her relationship with God. But we're not about to be around this city putting on hats that don't fit. I got all these shoes at home right now that I don't wear. Gators and eels, and I ain't wore those things. They probably, if I put my foot in them, they're probably dry rotted.
No.
You with me every day. I wear 4 pair of shoes. That's it. 4 very comfortable. Matter of fact, they're not even my favorite shoes. They're comfortable. They fit my foot, and I love them, and I put them on every day.
And then, the weird thing is I just made that switch because, I'm having back issues lately.
Yes.
So, I'm like, I'm not spending all this money, like you said, to wear the fancy shoes. I tell you, I literally just bought Cole Haans, and I love them.
Yep.
And probably won't buy no other shoe designer right now.
Yes. Diane on Facebook says, I know how she feels, but she looks pretty in a hat. Diane, I'm not saying she won't ever wear a hat, but she's not going to wear a hat because somebody's making her wear a hat. If she wears a hat, it's going to be because she wants to wear a hat and not because we have to fit in to a title, because then we're not authentic. We're not being us. If she wants to, she can. But this husband ain't about to say, but you got to wear a hat because everybody else wearing a hat. Then that might be an affair that we don't go to. That just it might be. Now, if she says, hey, you know what? Because she always wants to go to Kentucky Derby. She said one day in her life she wants to go to Kentucky. She'll wear a hat. That's part of it. Mm-hmm. If she wakes up in the morning and says, babe, you know what? This Sunday I want to wear a hat. Go for it. But that's because that's what you want to do. Mm-hmm. The Bible teaches us about pleasing God. Shirley Ann McAllister says, I understand how you feel. Alima, say that. It's just from my heart. All right, we better get into this topic. It's 12:36. I get on a roll and I don't know how to stop.
That's a good roll, though.
It was from my heart. I feel I feel so light. I was looking at my face today in the mirror. I was like, there's something even different on your face. Something even different on your face. Like there's a peace in my spirit right now. And I believe that is that peace that passes all understanding, a peace not to have to fulfill anybody else's expectations of me. I have lived through some rough stuff in the last couple of years. Now, I'm about to live. You should too, whoever's watching. Live. Like your life shouldn't be about pleasing everybody. I ain't saying you don't have to please anybody. But start with God. There are things I know I do my wife hates. I know she'll probably be like, I can't stand when they do that. And she know there's some things she does that I don't like. But I don't want a Barbie doll. And I don't want to be Ken for this world. I'm Pastor D. Respectfully, I could be called D. Disrespectfully, call me by my full name. We don't have a relationship like that. We don't rock like that. Because I call everybody Miss, Mr., all that. I respect everybody. I don't care who you are. I respect everybody. So I don't want to be disrespected. But if we got that kind of relationship, like my mother named me Darius Pridgen. I used to not say the word. That's my name. That's my name. That's the first name. Sharon Dove is on, my friend. Congratulations, Sharon Dove just had a baby. Her son, she ain't just have a baby. Her son had a baby. Congratulations, Lamont, and to his wife. Sharon went through a really tough health scare. And when Sharon got healed and took care of her body and her life, she living her best life. She done moved out of here, moved to her dream house to be close to her grandchild and living her life. Even her face again, that face looks different. Your face looks different. Live your life, man. I'm burying people that never even made it close to my age. You think I'm not about to live my life? I just doubled my life insurance. Yesterday, they accepted me. Can you believe it? And I didn't double my life insurance for me. I doubled my life insurance for those who are left. Because I'm going to live, because that little penny I got in the bank, I'm living my life. I'm living my life safe. And everybody knows I'm not a big spender. Mm-hmm. But if it's something I want, I'm doing it. I'm going to do it. I'm 56. Mm-hmm. I don't want to wait until I got to wait for Social Security. No, Social Security, as Maggie May Turner used to say, ain't that social. The mayor of Chicago says, cancel your traditional Thanksgiving. The governor of New York State says, you cannot have more than 10 people in your house during COVID. What y'all think? So all police forces around here basically said, listen, if we get a call about unruliness, we'll show up. Mm-hmm. But we don't have the personnel. We what we gonna do? What are we gonna do if you got 11 people? All right, one of you is getting arrested. Now, let me say this. I get it though. Like honestly, I get where they're going. I think it's a little tough for people to accept you saying what I can do in my house. I think that's where the problem is coming. But I do get it. I'm not going to pretend I don't get it. Like something has to change because these numbers are higher than they've ever been, folks. Mm-hmm. People are starting to die. I got a call from an undertaker, 7 o'clock in the morning. If he's listening, he knows who he is. I don't get up at 7. Anyway, but he was concerned because there are now more people dying of COVID again. And we're at a higher than we have ever been. So I do get it that you got to do something. But I think most people would say, give me a guideline. but you can't give me a mandate for what goes in my house. I don't know. I'm just saying. What y'all thinking?
So I'll speak for me. That's no problem. Personally, it's no problem for me because I'm hardly ever going to have 10 people in my
Okay,
house.
but let's say you were around
So
you.
if I was around my family, I think it is difficult to say, limit what I can do in my house. Like you said, I understand. I get it. Everyone has to make their own personal decisions. And like I said, if you want to risk grandmom getting sick, I can't. But that's got to be y'all decision, not ours. Now, on the outside of that, I think my struggle is just shut us down or not. These whole the restaurant closed at 10, but you can stay open for takeout as long as you want. And then there's all these layers that leave us confusion. Or schools, if you want to stay open, you got to test 20%, but it's your own cost. But you can't go to the county because county said, it's just too much happening right now. And I think part of the frustration is the regulations and then what you're setting the regulations at.
Absolutely. Alima says on Facebook, stay safe, but you can't tell me what to have in my house. And that's what I keep hearing. You're not going to tell me what to have in my house. But I get it. I'm so conflicted here because I do get, our family, all of my family gets together. That is not happening this year. And it's not happening because although my children have been sick, I got a teenager and students are getting sick. And I can't take the chance of having him around. I can't. And then him getting sick. I have parents who are still with us. I can't take the chance. I worry about my dad and mom every day.
Yep.
My dad is super safe. My mom is super safe. But many of us have been super safe. It only takes a second. That's the problem. It takes that 1 minute that your mask slips and you've breathed it in and it could end your life. I want to get so serious. I need you all to hear me. It only like today, we were doing the scramble to make sure everybody had on masks. And in order to walk in True Bethel, you got to be you almost got to be fingerprinted and pat down. You got to have the temperature check. You got to have on a mask. But people were getting so emotional that their masks were coming down. And I got to the mic and said, you got to help your neighbor. If their mask comes down, you have to help pull it up. You have to, because I knew I couldn't stop certain people from grieving as hard as they were, but that's how you have to help each other. You got to reach over and you got to pull that mask up. Now, if these numbers get progressively worse, nobody's going to have to tell True Bethel to shut down. I'm going to shut it down.
Right.
Because what I'm not going to do is take the chance to put somebody else's mother or father or children in danger. We have to stop the spread. We must, and whether you agree with the governor, whether you agree, because she's the mayor of Chicago is getting a lot of pushback because she said cancel your traditional. She didn't say cancel Thanksgiving.
Right.
But I think people heard cancel Thanksgiving. I'm not canceling Thanksgiving. I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm having a turkey. I've been waiting to cook some fresh food. I've been waiting, and I am going to do it. But it's going to be who lives in my house.
Right.
I want my daughters to stay at their house. I want my sons to stay at their house because they also have children. And it will be the weirdest Thanksgiving of all. But I think the best gift I can give them is safety. That's the best gift I can give them is safety. But we got to be careful. I'm still seeing people, corner stores, just walking in, no masks.
Yep.
And I can't really blame totally the corner store owners because some of these people will cuss you out. We've seen people get killed over a mask. Locally,
they were cussing staff out here today.
over a mask.
Yeah.
See what I mean? You mad because I'm one of few churches that will even let you in the door, and I'm trying to keep you safe, and you cussing out the staff. So imagine you coming to church cussing people out because of the mask, and you gonna wear a mask in here, or you got to go. I don't care what you say. You Christians ought to be like this. You can hug my neck. At the end of the day, you come in True Bethel, you wearing a mask, and you keeping the mask on, or go, leave. Because I'm not going to have you putting other people in danger because you want to be recalcitrant. Go somewhere else. I don't care. I said it. You can repeat it. Bernadette Washington says, amen, safety. Valerie, safety. Sharita Ingram, I love family, but this ain't no joke. Exactly. And the Ingrams got a big family.
Got Pastor Art Holloway. The black family is used to having a big Thanksgiving meal together. However, it won't hurt us to skip this year to have a blessing next year.
Hey, Art, I'm still having that big meal. It's just gonna be a lot of leftovers.
We're gonna have it longer.
Well, now they're saying that a lot of people are just buying turkey breasts. So if you're gonna get it, I don't want the breast. I want the whole bird.
I'll tell you why I need the whole bird. Because you got to get the juice from the dark meat to pour back on top of the breast.
Come on.
Because I need the whole thing.
Come on. And I didn't learn how to make soup now. Come on. I will make soup, turkey hash, turkey succotash, you name it. I made a broccoli casserole the other day. Come on now. Oh, it was good. Cream of mushroom soup with garlic. Come on. That's cream of mushroom soup.
That's the secret.
Folks, we have to stay safe. This is a pandemic that can be more deadly than we've ever seen in recorded existence. We are watching 13-year-olds sick with the virus. 14-year-olds, schools opening up too soon, needing to close as things get passed on. I'm going to tell you, True Bethel is not a choose whether you want to wear a mask zone. So if you come here and you don't like the rules, go somewhere else, because that's the deal. Melanie says, I work in healthcare and I don't want to put anyone at risk, so I have limited to just me and my mom. She still works in healthcare as well. Yeah, that's going to be tough. I only like my family to come around for a little while. They ain't got to stay all day and all night. My daughter just be staying. She'd be like, I'm here, I'm staying. I love my family. And I love watching. I can't believe I'm about to say this. Please don't tell my children this.
Hold on. Let me cut to a cut screen.
Okay, cut to a cut screen. I really like my grandkids. Like, I really do. They are hilarious, and watching them, and they are so different. But because I like them and love them, I want to be around, and I want them around, and I definitely want their parents around, because I can't take.
I was going to say, there's still a time constraint.
I can't take care of nobody's kids, man. I can't. One of the deacons came in. Were you in there when Deacon Houston came into my office yesterday and said his wife had a dream that Monique had a baby, and gave the name and everything. Ariel and all that.
Yeah.
So I tell Monique when I told Deacon, I said, your wife is definitely not a prophet.
You need to clean the lens.
Tell Monique she's gonna send me a picture of a room with that baby's name on it that she has saved in her phone. The baby's name was real close to it.
Wow.
It was about the room. And I said, oh, yeah? So she said something about harmony. And I said, oh, this baby you must gonna sing all the notes.
This is the studio. This ain't it wasn't the nursery, it was the studio.
She know how to sing in harmony by herself. I'm not going to kindergarten at 62 years old. I ain't doing it.
That'd be graduation at 74.
Paulette Hood Little says, enjoy service, Bishop. Lunch over for me. Oh, she got to go back. She got to go back to work. We almost out of here. Yeah, I don't know about that dream. That dream wasn't for me. But so maybe I don't know if the phone is working. We get 541-0866 real quick because I got to go. 541-0866. What do you feel about the limiting of people in your house? That's all I want to know. 541-0866. And I'm going to read this cracking up. You and your baby in diapers. Ross, I don't change my grandkids. When they're in diapers, you can't leave them with Papa. They still don't call me granddad. Don't call me granddad. Don't call me granddad. I'm Papa. When they in diapers, you got to stay with them if you come over. Unless Monique there. I'm not doing it.
That's hilarious.
Now, I can't even talk. I almost got a tongue up. I can't even talk. Then upset me, the deacon gonna come in talking about his wife said. You need to stop eating pork before you go to bed.
They got to go pray again or something.
The Lord ain't say that. My daughter told me when I married Monique, now listen, Dad, listen. I'm good with this, but you can't have babies younger than me, younger than my babies.
I mean, and nothing wrong because it's out there. Nothing's wrong with it. We just got to.
Oh, yeah, we don't have it. Yeah. No, and there are people who have babies.
Right.
But that's they calling.
That's them.
Well, I've been dealing with my calling.
Right.
Now, I ain't going to tell you that sometime we'd be like, oh, isn't that baby cute? And then if the baby stay, Monique be like, yep, yep. Jeffrey Richardson, go put up on my share. He got an old man walking on a walker. It's wait a minute, taking you. It's taking you to the promised land. Yeah, baby would take me to the promised land. Let's get to the point. 5410866. Those of you on Facebook, you can talk to me quick. What do you think about your house being limited? What do you think about it? And again, I'm going to say this over and over. I get it. I really do. And if the government wasn't making any suggestions, we'd be blaming. They ain't doing nothing. They ain't saying nothing. They are. He really is. I mean, do I think sometimes Como overstretches? I absolutely do. But do I think that he is trying to do the best in a circumstance that
we don't? And
I think he is.
And I'm struggling because now I'm getting ready to. This is a crazy thought.
Okay.
So just like with the elections,
yeah,
we'd be like, "Oh, Trump accepted. Oh, this, that, and the other."
Right.
But when it comes to the pandemic, Trump hasn't done anything. But then we ready to get mad.
There you go.
It's like, okay, let's put everyone on the same judgment field.
That's right, because we'll say in a minute, Trump did nothing. Como is on every day. Mm-hmm. And polling cars is on. Yep. He's been coming back on live. I can't take that away from them, even if I don't agree. When I don't agree, I voice my opinion. I get involved and try to change the process to make sure it's fair. But to then blame them for trying to keep people alive, yep. I'm sorry. I would take that and a little overreaching than no reaching at all.
Yeah, like I don't know.
Melanie, so she's replying to Janique. Janique says, I think we should just shut down again until at least January.
Well, and personally, and I've said this privately, I think that's what's going to, I think they're going to let Thanksgiving happen, and then we're going to shut down between Thanksgiving and Christmas, and then open probably back up the week before Christmas for the retail, and then figure out what is going to happen in January.
Yeah, Monique and I are such loners that sticking us in the house, we ain't mad. we be like, we got to go out. Like, I mean, we bargain on who got to go to. I'm like, we need some milk. Now, she'll go get milk, but I'll be like, I don't want to go. So if it is about keeping people alive, but what we have to recognize is that it does affect people's income. Mm-hmm. And there are some people, they need to go to work.
Absolutely.
And it's about a roof over their head. So it's a balancing act. Like, I do not envy Governor Cuomo's job, Mark Poloncar's job, the county executive. I don't envy their job, because that balancing act of how do you keep the economy going. By the way, people, there's still money out there for rental assistance. If COVID has affected your rent, and for mortgage assistance, they can't get the money out of the door fast enough. If we're able to help people, if there's another stimulus, and you say you got to do that. Now, right. You can't shut down the economy and then not help the poor. You cannot do that.
Right.
Because they'll be the ones getting put out of their homes. Mm-hmm. They'll be the ones who won't be able to eat. We can't do that. So if we're going to shut down, we have to move forward money into the homes and the hands of people who need it the most. Agree. Period. Because once you say shut down, that means everything is shut down. And if that's what needs to be to keep your grandmother alive, to keep you alive, I got to go for it. Gabriel Goldstein says the government needs to step up and implement universal basic income. You mean during the pandemic, or you mean for everyone? I'd like to hear more about what you mean, Gabriel. I'm not getting a lot of people talking about what you feel about. Alima says no blame. Like what you feel about the government saying 10 people. Janique says absolutely no need. Oh, absolutely need another stimulus to accompany the shutdown, and it's needed not only for individuals but for municipalities
and businesses.
Buffalo needs a stimulus. Let's be honest. We got people struggling right now. And so they're not able to, they're not going out and spending the taxes. We're not getting the tax revenue. We're not getting into these things. And so it is important for the municipalities in order for them to be able to keep going, helping out, keeping police on the road, keeping mental health workers on the road, keeping firefighters working. Is there money to help with homeowner taxes? Melanie, I think it is for mortgage relief, but call 211. I don't know everything. You call 211 and you ask them, Gabriel, Melanie, ask them.
Now, the taxes, I do know they're taking arrangements.
For the tax. Yeah. Oh, yeah, the city isn't.
City and county, they're taking arrangements, and they moved the auction out of this
Yeah,
year.
we don't even have a auction. So you don't have to worry, not right now, about an auction. And, I thank the administration for that, for looking forward and saying no auction. We're not going to be taking people's houses during this pandemic. So, so check that out. Everybody, 211 is that number. I got to get ready to go. It's 12:58. Brian Hobson's the Dr. Dry Cleaning. I've got to go over to Hobson's. Oh, by the way, I did find that suit that I lost. It's in my closet.
Oh, of course.
It was in my closet. Hobson's the Dr. Dry Cleaner, 874 East Delavan. I am imploring you all, and I hope she doesn't get mad about me saying this. They need your business. The pandemic has greatly affected all industries. And the last thing we need is to lose another business on the East Side who has supported the East Side. Please support Hobson's, right? Please do that. Brian K. Lewis Funeral Home, 347 Peckham, 2528 Bailey, 1275 Sycamore, in your hour of need. Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes, 3 locations to serve you. Listen, Buffalo, and those of you watching across the country, I want to thank you. Thank you for allowing me to have my moment today. My heart and my prayers, and not only that, my work is with these families who are suffering and those who are still alive. We got to do better in so many ways, but some ways it's in our hands. So put it on your face, wear the mask, limit gatherings. You might not agree with everything the government is saying, but at least we do have government saying something. Until next week, the Lord say the same. Power to the people. Thank you. I can still talk on here. No, you got to switch something over, right? Okay. Hey, everybody, the after show. Thank you all for watching. It's such a blessing to do what I do. I don't take it lightly, and I'm grateful. I'm really grateful. I'm grateful for this journey that I am going on right now. I just want to make sure that the humility that God requires for us is there so that I can do the work that he called me to do. I've never been, like this flashy guy. And I have no problem with anybody who's flashy. I have no problem with that. I'm talking about me and who I am, me and who my family is, me and who my wife is, who we are together. We just human beings, just normal human beings who, as long as we're not disrespected, nobody wants to be disrespected, but we're going to respect people. And so I'm thankful. I'm thankful for the elevation to the office, but I'm also thankful that that's not something I need to live. And hopefully the next man or woman who the bishop allows to be appointed will have that humility. I want to pay a little bit more attention to my children, to my wife, and most importantly, to me. I really do. I want to pay a little more attention to me. And I've started working out a little bit every day at the home gym. drinking more water. And I'm going to tell you, when the insurance company was like, you got really good health, and and they know about my lung, that everything, that the surgeries. But I guess that became a kind of a plus because there was no cancer and twice. But this is a season in which I want to be comfortable in the shoes that I wear. And that's so important to me. And it's so important for my family to be comfortable in the shoes that they wear or the hats that they don't wear. And to just be able to identify with people, whether they are going through struggle, whether they're going through celebration, whether they're depressed, to know that, I can talk to that dude and that dude is not going to judge me. That dude is not going to bishop me. He's not going to pastor me. He's just going to be a brother, But I know that I got to take a little time for me, because without me, it's hard to love somebody else when you are not loving yourself. And the noise can be so loud sometimes that you lose you. And you get up in the morning, I wasn't sleeping because I'm thinking, what is the next thing I got to do? And it's usually about for other people. It was never for me. And when I went downstairs in my gym and it was dusty, because I hadn't been down there, because I get off from work and somebody calls and they need this and another person needs that and all that. And I was on the phone last night with my brother, Pastor Holloway, Presiding Elder Holloway. And God took certain people out of my life. I miss so much Kenny James. I miss so much Gary Titus and others. And then it's like he sends other people where you're able to really just express and be you and laugh. And I started losing that. And once you lose your laughter, once you lose your peace and your joy, and you are trying to be everything that everybody wants, because every time you become something that somebody else wants you to become something else. And you will literally become somewhat bipolar because you'll be reaching to the fires to try to, and then when you just like, and this 56 is no joke, when you wake up to the point, you're never going to be everything to everybody, ever. But the one person you can be everything to is yourself. And I believe that's what God calls. And I believe that's why David was successful when he says, I can't wear the king's armor. I'll go fight the giant. I'll still fight the giant. But I got to fight the giant the way I've been called to fight the giant. Somebody else can have the silver sword. I'll get the sword in the end out of Goliath's sword to take his head off. But I'm good. I'm real good with a stone and a slingshot. I'm real good there, and I'm comfortable there, and I need to return there for this season. I don't know how long it's going to last. I don't care. The seasons are controlled by God. And so whatever is the next season, I just want to follow God. I want to be comfortable in following God. And to know, like, yeah, okay, you wanted me to do this then because I needed to establish this. And so what do you want me to do next? And be able to do it. Or what do you want me to continue doing? But it is a great feeling. So thank you all to the after party. Thank you, Melanie. It's from my heart. I'm just talking, man. And that's how I want to be. That's who I am. Like, make it plain for people. And again, that is no indictment, because a lot of times people feel like when you're having a personal discovery and that it's throwing off on somebody else. And that's the furthest from the truth, because I respect everybody's calling if it is from God. I respect everybody's, whatever it is you say you've been called to do. So that ain't an indictment on somebody else who somebody else has to have the sword. I want to be the worker on the wall right now. I want to be the worker on the wall. I don't need to be Nehemiah. I want to be the worker on the wall to help Nehemiah right now in this season. And that's just where I'm at. That's where I'm at. So there's some boards that I'm resigning from come the first of the year. I am not resigning from the council, so don't start that rumor. I am not resigning from True Bethel Baptist Church. Don't start that rumor. But some of the other things where I was asked to help, I don't want to have a meeting every night. I want my kids to be able to play games at night and I not be so tired that I can't play with them. I want to be able to go to dinner when this thing is over with my wife and not have to go, oh shucks, I gotta, be somewhere at 7 and I gotta be. I need that. I need that in this season, and I just need to do the work. So, this is Pastor D. I appreciate you all and I love you all, and I'll see you soon.